Alright guys, what is going on? It's Victorian bringing you another video today, and in today's video, I have a story that I want to tell you. Also, if you guys could hit the like and subscribe button, that would help me out a lot. If you don't know, when you like the video, it tends to reach more people, and in turn, lets more people see the content that I make. So if you could do that for me, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. Let me fill you guys in on what exactly was going on that day. So, right when I got out of high school, I got a job as a tire technician for a tire shop. I'm not going to say what tire shop specifically. I was a tire technician, and I wasn't like lowest level tire tech. I was like a couple steps up. My job was to pull the vehicles into the bays, take care of jacking up the vehicle, and then basically manage and make sure that the tire techs that I'm watching do the job to the fullest of their ability and double check their work. Make sure that everything visually looks good. Now this instance was a little bit different because this customer had basically an RV with a trailer behind him, and he wanted to pull in his own vehicle, which was not abnormal. We had customers that didn't trust us driving muscle cars or expensive trucks or whatever. I totally get it. But this customer specifically had an RV with a trailer behind it, and we were servicing the RV and the trailer. So, typical day, customer pulls it in. Thank you, sir. Thank you for letting us work on your vehicle. We'll let you know when it's done. Customer goes across the street, and he goes to kind of like an IHOP or a Denny's, basically just going there for breakfast. Customer pulls it in, and what we didn't notice was that he locked the door. Now, typically when we get the keys to the vehicle, which we didn't have, we set the keys on the paperwork and, go about doing our thing. Well, I handed that responsibility to somebody else while I was jacking up the vehicle. And basically what ended up happening was, as I was jacking up this vehicle, I was using one of those big hydraulic jacks that isn't like your normal one like you would get from Harbor Freight. This is like a industrial heavy duty, I think it was like a 6 or 10 ton hydraulic jack. It was a big machine, and it's very difficult to get underneath anything. And it has a air hose hooked up to it. So naturally the vehicle's pulled into the bay, and the trailer's behind it, and I start jacking up the back end of the vehicle, and this RV starts rolling backwards. Now, one of the guys that I was with, I was under the vehicle, and he tries to open the door, and the door is locked. So this thing's rolling back with me underneath of it. The door's locked. We can't get inside of it. Both doors, both sides are locked. There's no way of getting into this thing. The customer isn't here. The customer kept the keys, and he wasn't supposed to. This RV starts rolling back with me under it, and I realize what's going on. Thankfully, I was, paying attention, and I started hearing people shouting really, really quickly. I got out of there as quick as I could. I realized that the hydraulic jack that I was using was still underneath of the RV. I tried to disconnect the air hose from the jack while the vehicle was rolling forward, so I dove back under the vehicle after the tire almost just crushed me, only for it to almost crush me again. I tried to disconnect the fitting, and those air fittings, when it's tight, you are not getting it off. And sometimes this one here was a brand new one, so it took quite a bit of effort to try to break it loose. So I had to end up getting back out from underneath the RV after it almost crushed me a second time. This RV rolls all the way out of the bay down into the parking lot, and the trailer jackknifes, and it hits a curb, and the trailer twisted and bent the part of the hitch that the RV was on. And the customer comes out, and he's like, what the heck happened? And we tried to explain to him, hey, you have the keys to the vehicle. You didn't tell us you locked the door. And as it turns out, once he unlocks the door, the vehicle was in neutral. That is messed up on every level. Everybody knows not to leave their vehicle in neutral, especially while it's being worked on, because it will roll. And that's exactly what it did. And I was underneath of it while it did that, and I almost got crushed because of it. So it was a very scary moment for me. So basically what the customer did was he locked the door, closed it, left the vehicle in neutral after he just pulled it into the bay. When I jacked up that rear end, the trailer, which we probably should have disconnected, but we were told it was fine. I asked my managers before, you know, we started working on it. They said, nah, it's fine. I jacked up the rear end, and while I was under it, the RV started rolling backwards and almost crushed me. And I was an idiot and dove back under trying to disconnect the jack. It wouldn't work. And the RV stayed stuck in that position for about 10-15 minutes until we could contact the customer to tell them, hey, get back over here, we have an issue. And naturally, we ended up paying for a whole new trailer. We ended up paying for the damages on his RV. It was a pretty hefty bill. That whole day in general was a very messed up day. I almost died. I think that was the most fucked up part about the whole day. The only people that asked me if I was okay, it wasn't the managers, it wasn't the customer, it was the technicians that were with me. The ones that tried to open the door while I was underneath the RV. They were the only ones that asked if I was okay that whole day. It was totally messed up, and looking back on it, I should have never dove underneath of it the second time, and I probably should have checked to make sure it was in park, but you know, it was a routine thing. It's always, the vehicle was always in park, the e-brake was always set. We never had any issues. And until that one time, absolutely crazy story, and something that I wish I never go through again. So yeah, that pretty much concludes today's video. That is a story on how I almost died at the age of 19, and hopefully you guys did enjoy. I do have more stories. I will be posting more stories, and if you guys did enjoy this, just let me know down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's been Victorium, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.